Welcome back to AICTE Podcast Approval Process 2024-25. In the second episode of AICTE Podcast, Dr. N.H. Siddalinga Swamy, Advisor of Regulation Bureau at AICTE, has joined us. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
This episode is going to be very helpful for all the institutions willing to take AICTE approval for the academic year 2024-25. Today, our guest Dr. Swamy will be elaborating the steps for applying for approval at AICTE web portal. Though AICTE has simplified the online application process, but still we received a lot of messages from the institutions to have a brief video on how we can apply for the approval process through online application. So stay tuned to this episode and do not miss any step for the online application. Sir, why do you think applying online for approval is better than physical application?
AICTE for the last 12 years has started doing all the activities in online mode. In the year 2010-11, AICTE first time brought e-governance system in all its activities, and accordingly this approval process has also brought on the online system. Since then, AICTE approval process is completely in online mode, and today over a period of time it has evolved and it is now completely right from the first step till the institution receives the approval letter is completely through online mode, and all the steps are made very simple, and it's a very simple process for any institution to make application and get approval through AICTE.
Okay. So could you please brief us the step-by-step process for applying online?
Yes. So I will give the details about how an institution can make an application with the AICTE for getting approval. We are coming across two types of institutions. AICTE approval process is an annual feature, but for the first time AICTE has come out with a policy wherein for the next 3 academic years the approval process is going to be in this thing online mode, and of course for the next 3 years the approval process document, which is a guiding principle with all the information and necessary documents need to be submitted by the institutions, and how the institutions go through the different steps for obtaining the approval in online mode is explained in this particular document, and which is there available on the AICTE website in this thing approval process section, and which is available for the next 3 years as the main document for obtaining the approval process. And as far as the institutions are concerned, we will have 2 types of institutions. The first type of institutions are normally the existing institutions which are already having a AICTE approval, but as a policy AICTE approval is an annual feature. Every existing institutions has to come back every year when there is a public notice regarding this online approval process. Normally the public notice will be released in the month of December, January, and accordingly this year already the public notice has been issued in this regard, and the portal is also made live for the institutions to make application. The existing institutions which are already having approval for the AICTE for the previous academic years, they can apply on the AICTE portal using the credentials which they are already having. These are the first variety of institutions. The second variety of institutions are those institutions so far not having AICTE approval, or any trust, society or organization, including that government, central or state government organizations willing to start any institution to run the programs and courses fall under the ambit of AICTE, like engineering and technology, applied arts and crafts, management, then hotel management and catering technology, then design, then planning. All these institutions need to make an application on the AICTE portal for obtaining AICTE approval first before they need to start offering these courses through their institution. As far as these new institutions are concerned, we are having this time two different types. The first type of institutions under this new institution category are those institutions offering or intend to offer BCA, BBA, BMS courses, which are basically the existing institutions in a way who are all operating in different parts of the country in different states. They are offering this BBA, BCA, BMS courses in some cases along with other general degree courses like BA, BCom and BSc courses. These institutions which are already this thing operating in different states, in different locations of the country, running this BBA, BCA and BMS are also need to take AICTE approval from this year onwards. In this regard, even UGC has also given a notification, and there is a circular issued by AICTE through all the universities. Now all the universities have communicated to the institutions which are offering this BBA, BCA and BMS courses to take approval of AICTE. As per that circular also, all these institutions need to take AICTE approval from this academic year 2024-25. And these institutions, as far as AICTE is concerned, we are considering them as institutions coming for the first time to take AICTE approval. They need to go through the following process. I am giving the different step by step process how these kind of institutions need to make an application. Before that, I am also going to say about the other variety of institutions which are coming under this group. The other variety of institutions are the institutions which are not at all in existence as of now, which are going to come up from the academic session 24-25 in order to offer different courses, maybe BA, BSc, BCom kind of a courses. Along with that, they wanted to run this BBA, BCA kind of a thing. Such institutions also need to come for the first time with AICTE and take approval. Or there is a possibility like the institutions which are not at all in existence and they wanted to start the institution as a new from the academic session 24-25. Such institutions also need to follow the process or the steps which I am going to explain. So here if they visit any new institution or existing institution, so first they need to visit AICTE website at www.aict-india.org. If they visit this website, in the very first home page of the AICTE website, they will see approval process 2024-25. Here itself the one will get the clear picture about how they need to proceed. Here we are having the important information related to the approval process 24-25. The first and the foremost thing which every institutions need to know is about the document. We call it as approval process handbook. This particular document will give a complete picture about the process and also the different the steps the institutions need to follow, and also the documents and other informations which they need to provide in order to obtain the AICTE approval. This complete information is made available in this book, and this book has got 8 different chapters. The first chapter is exclusively for the new institution, as I mentioned, and the second chapter is exclusively for the existing institutions, and the third chapter is meant for the existing institutions who are going to offer programs and courses in collaborative and twinning mode, and the fourth chapter is meant for the universities who wish to take approval of AICTE, and similarly the fifth chapter is related to the norms and the standards, and the sixth chapter similarly the next chapter is related to that penal action. And before this there is a one chapter which is exclusively for OL and ODL programs. The institutions willing to offer programs or courses in OL and ODL, they need to follow the details mentioned in that particular chapter, and the last chapter is belonging to the do's and do nots. It is a simple one page document which will give a clear picture about what is what are the do's the institutions need to do, and similarly what are the things which they need not have to do as far as the AICTE approval is concerned. This is the first document which the institutions need to see. And after that, if any institution which is coming for the first time to AICTE for taking AICTE approval, then they need to go through the video which is given in this website, I mean in our AICTE website under the new institution category, and if they click on this directly it will go to the website NSWS, National Single Window System, and in this website the institutions which are coming for the first time to take AICTE approval need to register, and they need to go through the simple steps and how they can do the registration and what kind of information they need to provide. Everything is provided in this simple video which is available. This will give a step by step the things and how the institutions can register and what information. So, remember, the registration on this NSWS portal is totally free. There need not have to pay any amount for this thing. This is the first step as far as the new institution is concerned. Similarly, as far as the existing institutions are concerned, they need not have to go through this NSWS portal. Instead of that, all the existing institutions straight away go to AICTE web portal page. How to go to the AICTE web portal page is in that AICTE home page, they are having a link on the right hand top corner, AICTE web portal. If they click on, they will land in that web page, I mean the login page, and once they use the login credentials which are already available with all the existing institutions, so they can enter into the portal. And once they enter into the portal will take them in a series of this thing steps, and they have to go through the different steps depending upon the changes which they are looking for in this upcoming academic year. For obtaining the approval, the institutions have to make applications accordingly. Here for the existing institutions, we are having a provisions like 1 minute submission process also. This 1 minute submission process is all about those existing institutions willing to apply for 24-25, means for the academic session 2024-25 without going for any changes in any of their infrastructure or faculty details or the course details. Such institutions can think of using this particular process of 1 minute submission. This will help the institutions who are not going for any changes to submit the application within 1 minute. And for the other institutions, existing institutions, so they need to go through the different steps, so which are very sequential in nature, and it is very systematic, and it takes them through like institute basic details, then contact person details of the institute, then the third one is the questionnaire. In this particular section of the questionnaire, the institutions need to answer certain questions in case if they are looking for any changes in their approval process. Means if they are looking for changes in the this thing, I mean the type of courses which they have wanted to offer and the program which they wanted to offer, or they wanted to go for any other changes, or if any other the changes they need to do it accordingly, they need to answer the questions which are mentioned in the third step. After that, the fourth step is related to the programs and the courses, wherein in this step the institution need to go through the different the steps. So if at all if they are looking for the changes, accordingly they need to make, otherwise they can move further, wherein that infrastructure details and the faculty details are made available. In case if the institution wants to add any additional infrastructure related information, they need to add. Similarly, if the institution is willing to add any new faculty members, that also they can do it, or if any changes in the existing faculty also, so they can do at this particular step. And after that, the next step is related to the deficiency calculation, and institution after filling all the information, they can check the deficiency. What is this deficiency? Actually, this deficiency is with respect to the norms and standards which AICTE follows. All the institutions which need to offer or which are looking for offering any courses and programs coming under the ambit of AICTE, they need to fulfill these minimum norms and standards. and wherever the institution is having the shortage, so that will get reflect in this deficiency report. So that also the institution can see where, and accordingly the institution can look for overcoming those deficiencies by providing that additional infrastructure or whatever the deficiencies they are having, they need to comply before obtaining the approval. And after that the institutions need to make a TER charge, as a technical education regulatory fee. So depending upon the type of the application and the type of the changes which the institutions are looking for. So this and all is given the details of this TER charges applicable in the second chapter as far as the existing institutions are concerned. And the last one is the attachment and the submission. In the institution, again as I mentioned, depending upon the type of the application which the existing institutions are making, certain documents they need to provide, and accordingly those documents need to be uploaded. If no document is required for the changes which they are looking for, then there is no need of uploading any documents. And these are the steps which the institutions need to follow. Now coming back to the new institutions, which is very important because they are coming for the first time to AICTE for taking approval. As I mentioned earlier, here we are also having that institutions which are already in existence in a way and offering BCA, BBA and BMS courses, but so far they have not taken AICTE approval. Such institutions also need to go through this NSWS portal as the first step, and after that they also will straight away land into that AICTE web portal page. So once they log in into this NSWS portal, that video which I have shown earlier will take them step by step, and they can definitely go through that one, and they can do the very simple this thing, I mean that information which they need to provide through in order to get into the AICTE web portal. Once they get into the AICTE web portal, in the beginning they need to answer the question related to this BBA, BCA and BMS in case if the institutions belonging to this variety, means existing institution offering BBA, BBA or BMS or BCA courses, or any one or all the three or any two, whatever it may be, which are basically existing institutions and offering this kind of a courses. If they answer that question, accordingly the applications will be opened step by step. As I mentioned that earlier in respect of the existing institutions, similarly in respect of these institutions also, the series of this thing, I mean the steps will be there, starting from the institution basic details, then the contact details. So then that program and the course details, like this the institutions need to fill the information. Here we are providing this time a lot of support to the institutions, means these institutions which are offering BBA, BCA and BMS courses, or the institutions coming for the first time to take AICTE approval altogether as a new institutions. So for them, so because they are coming for the first time, and in the portal how they can proceed and what kind of a technical support, all that also I am going to explain. This time we are having two different important things. One is that centralized support system for that approval related queries. This centralized support system wherein the institutions can log into this one and they can raise their query whatever they are having. And here there is a provision for the institutions to upload the attachments like screenshots in case if they are coming across any technical difficulty or any glitch, the screenshot of the system they can take and they can upload that one through this centralized support system. Here this centralized support system is with chatbot also. The chatbot facility also will help. For example, what they need to this thing, I mean as soon as they enter, so it will start asking the questions, and accordingly the institutions can take the help of this chatbot also. Otherwise, if they are very much comfortable and if they are very well knew that what exactly is the problem they are facing, and they can straight away use the central support system to raise their query. This is the one type of obtaining the solution for an institution which are facing any difficulty in overcoming that. The second one this time we have come across is the information facilitation center. This information facilitation center works right from morning 9 a.m. to evening 9 p.m. So, in this information facilitation center, all the institutions will get two types of support. One is they are going to get a policy related queries addressed by our the officers. This particular session will be available every day between 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. means 1 hour every day the session will be there, and during that time the institutions can log in into our system. Through this page we made a provision. So, just they have to click on this particular link, and if they click on that link they will enter into our video conferencing system, and they can interact with our technical team members, and directly they will get the required technical support whatever they are having. Even they can share their screen and they can show it to our technical team whatever the difficulty they are facing. So, this is possible under this thing that technical queries related session. And as far as this policy related query session, they can log in into this video conferencing facility, and there they can raise their question, and our officers will go into answer the queries, policy related queries what they are having. Means a lot of questions they may be having in their mind, and in order to help even before coming to this also, we have displayed more than 200 questions under FAQs, frequently asked question sections, that is also made available. Even those institutions looking for some this thing the doubts, they can also go through that frequently asked question section, and then in case if they are still having any doubt, they can come and make use of this information facilitation center. So, wherein they will get two types of this thing the solutions. One is a policy related and the other one is a technical related. See, here the thing is they are having a different this thing the links for them to join, but we request them region wise we have segregated the states. So, in order to help, in order to avoid the rush to one particular this thing section, so we have segregated them and we have made 4 different this thing 2 different sections, totally 4, 2 under this thing or policy related query section and 2 under technical query related section. Under this technical query related section, the first link will help the institutions from 4 regions, that is the southwestern region, south central region, then western region and southern region. Means which are those states coming under these 4 regions, that is clearly mentioned just below these links only. If they go through that particular region, which state is covered in that region, and accordingly we request the institution to just enter into our video conferencing facility. So, wherein they will get in touch with the technical experts who are going to help the institutions to address their queries. So, these sessions will be in 3 phases. The first session starts from morning 9 a.m. to that 12, and because between 12 and 1 we kept this policy related query session, so that during that time, so this technical related query sessions will not be available. And again immediately after that the second session related to technical queries will be made available, and after that is from 2 p.m. to that 6 p.m. and that last session will be from 6:30 to 9 p.m. So, like this on 3 sessions the technical related queries will be addressed, and every day there will be a single session between 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. and during that time the institutions can make use of that this thing the policy related queries addressed. So, this is the second this thing the support which the institutions are having. So, here the institutions can again ask, sir, we are more comfortable in getting our queries resolved through phone call also. We wanted to have some help through phone calls. Whether any such a facility we are having, yes, for them for such kind of this thing that institutions also we are having this thing helpline. So, there they can directly contact on this helpline, and here there are 3 direct lines, and apart from that 3 direct lines, if they go to our information facilitation this thing center, so there also, so they will find this thing, I mean that region wise this thing helplines. So there they will come across again we are having 8 regions, and in that 8 regions they got 8 different this thing, I mean that lines to contact our technical team members. So like this we got 3 varieties of support, means helpline support for the institutions, whether they are a new institution or an existing institutions. We have not this thing, I mean the bifurcated as far as this technical support and the policy related support is concerned. That entire thing is open to all the institutions, and whatever the this thing, I mean the state from which the institution is coming from, and accordingly they have to log in into our this online video conferencing kind of a facility, which as we have started this time, apart from our regular centralized support system, and as well as this phone call, this online grievances system. So these are the things available for the institutions to make use of it.
So you have explained it very simply. The entire process is very simple, but still if somebody faces any sort of glitches, they can proceed for our assistance through online, through helpline numbers and all the things. Sir, we are also hearing that AICT is conducting regional workshops. So could you please highlight some of the regional, what we are, why we are doing?
So as a best practice, AICT, All India Council for Technical Education, for the last so many years has started this best practice. Means to all the regions AICT officers are going and in a particular place. So we are organizing this I mean interaction session with the stakeholders. Okay. This stakeholders workshops across the country is happening in all the 8 regions, and we are going to have our next session, means stakeholders workshop session. So one in Chandigarh tomorrow and other one in Kolkata simultaneously, and both the places these sessions will going to take place morning 10:30 to 1:30. The sessions will be there, where the institutions can come physically to those locations, and we have mentioned and also displayed in our website. So the this thing, I mean the venue for this stakeholders workshop. So straight away they can come. There is no restriction, and it is totally free, and our officers will going to give a detailed presentations related to especially this AICT approval process. Apart from AICT approval process, there are also information shared with all these stakeholders or whoever is coming to attend this workshops, stakeholders workshops. They will get additional information related to our other activities also. So there they will also have this thing, I mean what is that, question answer sessions, wherein the institutions after the presentations they can also ask a question, and basically in this stakeholders workshop more of a policy related discussion and more of a policy related question answer sessions will be there. Okay. So if at all if the institution is having anything to ask, and if they are comfortable in attending whatever this thing, I mean that stakeholders workshop locations or the venues, they can do it. As I mentioned that tomorrow's there are 2 locations, one is Chandigarh and other one is Kolkata, and after that day after tomorrow, that is on 11th, we are having our last this thing stakeholders workshop in Chennai. Okay. And prior to these 3, we have already completed the similar this thing stakeholders this one session on different places starting from Bangalore. So then in Pune, then Hyderabad, so then Bhopal. So like this, so we have organized in different locations, and these workshops are already completed. So now our that remaining 3 workshops is going to happen, and tomorrow and day after tomorrow. So there also they can come under this thing,
raise their questions.
Yes, yes.
Sir, could you please highlight the last date of applying for the especially for new institutions and the existing institutions?
Yeah, actually as per the public notice which AICT has already issued, so for the existing institutions the last date for making application for the session 2024-25 is January 31st, 2024, means this month last day till midnight the institutions can submit their application without any penalty. In case due to some reason, if any of the existing institution fail to submit within this stipulated time, I mean before 31st of January 2024, such institution will get an opportunity for another extended period of 1 week, and of course that 1 week period up to 7th of February, it will be with some penalty. And what is that penalty? That is mentioned in our this thing approval process handbook chapter 2. And as far as the new institutions are concerned, means who are coming for the first time to take ACT approval, as I mentioned, we are having two varieties. One variety is the existing institutions offering or intend to offer BBA, BCA and BMS, this one, I mean that courses. For such institutions, even though for AICT they are new, like a new institution, because they are coming for the first time to take AICT approval, for them the window will be opened till 26th of February 2024. Even though we treat them like a new institution, but actually they are not new institution, they are existing institutions, and for them up to February 2024, 26th of February 2024, the window will be opened. And whereas that one more variety of new institutions which are not in existence, and for the first time they are coming all together as a new institution to offer any of the courses which fall under the ambit of AICT, whether it is be it engineering and technology, or applied arts and crafts, or management, or BMS, BBA or BCA, all together for the first time as an institution coming for the first time. For them, the January 31st 2024 is the last date. Yes.
Okay. So, sir, thank you so much for joining us. You have elaborated very beautifully how to apply online, the last date. Our helplines are available, which are video helplines are available from 9 a.m. in the morning till 9 p.m. in the night. And also we have 24 hours helpline which is on call, which is available on through call. Apart from that, we have our centralized assistance portal also available.
Support system.
So,
and here I wish to add one more thing, and apart from this thing, even for that existing institutions, depending upon the type of the changes which they are looking for, so we are also having a user manual, even for the existing institutions also, and as well as the new institutions also. If someone is comfortable in going through that user manual, they can also read that user manual. It will give the screenshot of step by step procedure, how on the portal the institution can go for the changes and how they can make application. Even these user manuals also will come in handy for the institutions who are very much comfortable in going through some this thing, I mean that hard copy and referring that one while making the application. So, all the facilities are made available both in online mode and as well as in the form of user manuals. The institutions can make use of this and they can get the answer for their queries.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us and explaining everything about the process for applying online in such a simple language. This video will surely help so many institutions. Thank you once again for joining us at AICTE podcast on approval process. Before leaving, do not forget to follow AICTE on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp and Instagram to get all the important updates of technical education. Stay tuned to this episode for more videos on other important topics. Thank you. This is Nisha signing off from AICTE Studio. Thank you.
Thank you.